US Open practice day. Today we have 4 practice sessions on 4 different patterns, and it's going to be a long day. If you ball everything, it's 6 hours of practice, so that's quite a lot, and we have to figure out what to do on the patterns, obviously, and then we have to limit our balls to 10. So it's a pretty important day figuring out which 10 balls you're going to use in during qualifying here. Pattern 1 was the 45-foot, pretty flat. Basically, there's only there's a bunch of oil in the middle, like 8 boards, and then everything else is flat and pretty low volume. Only 25 milliliters, which makes it quite it breaks down pretty quickly. A lot of friction. Felt like this could either be a pattern that's really tough or gets pretty easy pretty quickly because of how quickly they can break down. I like the straighter angles, some stronger balls without them being too early. Nova, Helios look pretty good. Also had a pretty decent look with an altered reality, so not quite sure what to expect from this one, but it's definitely going to be something where you have to keep your angles a little bit in front of you and get the ball rolling. So now we have a couple more practice sessions. I'll be making a video for each of those too. So, practice on pattern 2 done at the US Open. This pattern is the flat one this year, 37 feet, completely flat. So obviously it's gonna be pretty tough. The thing is, when we practice on these kind of patterns, they always feel like they're a little bit easier in practice just because you have the memory from the previous patterns, from the house shot, whatever. So they always play a little bit easier in practice than when we actually get to ball on them. And it played okay. It was pretty sensitive in the beginning, and then as we started getting a little bit of a hole blown in the pattern and got some oil down lane, they actually got fairly easy, where you could move left and hook it a little bit and have a little bit of room. But obviously the scores in the beginning is going to be pretty low on this one. A lot of urethane is going to go down the lane. I really like the look with my UC3 and my Phase 2 early on. And then later on I could move into balls like the Helios, the RSTX2, and later on into balls like a Sen or a Idle Synergy. So I think if the pattern breaks down okay, scores could be fairly good on this pattern, but if they break down bad, it could be a really tough day on this pattern. So we'll have to see. That is on Wednesday, so we got a little bit of time before we hit this pattern. Practice is over for today. Got done practicing on pattern 3, which is the 41 foot Still fairly flat, but a little more shape in it than the other patterns. and you could definitely feel it. This feels more like a normal pattern than the first two, and I think this is the pattern where you're gonna be able to put a little bit of a score together. Lefty seemed like they had a pretty good look on this pattern too, so that's probably where they have to make up some pins. There's a lot of oil in this pattern, 32 milliliters, but you didn't really feel it on the lanes. It almost felt like the shinier balls, the cleaner balls actually worked better. But again, we don't ball on this until Thursday, so a lot of things can change in between there. But I definitely feel like we're gonna see some higher scores on this pattern. You're gonna be able to hook it a little bit more, get the ball further away from the pocket, and still have a little bit of room. So I don't think it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna be easier compared to the other patterns here at the US Open. So I had a good look with my reality, I had good looks, and later on I had good looks with pretty much every shinier ball in my bag. The UC2, the X2, Alter Reality, Idle Synergy, Zen all look pretty decent. So I think there's going to be some good options here, and again, we don't ball on it until Thursday, so it's going to be interesting, but hopefully going to be close going into to pattern 3 here, and then make a good run with some good scores on this pattern. Make sure you subscribe and follow me and Emax Bowling on social media, because we're going to be doing a lot of updates. I'll try to make an update after we bowl on each pattern every day, so you guys can see if I was right in any of my predictions here from practice day. So, see you guys.